Most people will agree that there are three really good ways to pay down credit card debt. The first way is the most logical, which is you look at the one that has the highest percentage rate and you pay that one off first, right? Because that's the one that's costing you the most. So it costs you less and less as you go. The second two are more psychological, which is in one case you start with the credit card that has the highest balance, because it's like you attack that mountain. And once you get that biggest one, you got your courage up, your confidence, and then you go attack the one that's next to that, and you keep working downhill and it gets easier and easier. The other way is when you start with the smallest one. It's like a domino effect where you start with your smallest one, you pay that one off, and then you get your momentum going and you knock them down, knock them down, knock them down. And by the time you get to the bigger and bigger ones, you have more and more confidence from all the smaller ones that you knocked out, and you can channel more resources. Where people disagree is whether or not you should save and or especially invest while you're trying to pay off your credit cards. Sometimes, some people, we think different. And when it comes to saving, I would tell you that it took me a long time to figure out that everyone doesn't have that gene where it's just easy to put away money and forget about it. So for me, I put money in so many different places that it's kind of hard for me to remember all the time or all at once where it is. Just stashing it here, stashing it there, this investment, that account, that has helped me. Another thing that I learned is that with some of us, we get to a point where if we have more than what we're comfortable with, we spend it. We just automatically think of that as extra. If you know how much money you're comfortable with having on the side, whatever that amount is, it's a good idea once you start getting over that amount, either take half of the extra or take all of the extra and put it somewhere else. Put it into an investment, put it someplace where you're not just going to swipe your debit card and spend it, but never think of it as extra. It's a crazy feeling to be in the bank and the person in front of you is making deals with the teller that's 10 and 20 times more than what you have in your account. And you're thinking, man, I could have saved different myself. It doesn't make a lot of logical sense to invest and try to pay off credit cards, because that credit card interest, you'll never make that back investing. However, in terms of your psychological, in terms of building up a momentum, becoming comfortable, teaching yourself a habit, and people are creatures of habit, I believe it's just best to do a little bit of investing, a little bit of learning what works for you, what doesn't work for you, at the same time as you're paying off this big debt. Because in your mind, once one thing is done, you'll already be acclimated to the other. You'll already be rolling up that other hill. When your credit cards get lower and lower, your investments are getting higher and higher. And once that credit card debt is down to something manageable or over, then you are already investing. You've already built that habit. You already got that momentum going. I think that's better than getting your credit cards all done. Now you're trying to start from scratch. I just think that's the best way to go for people who think like me. If I did things the same way everybody else did, I can't say things would have worked out the same for me. So that's my lesson learned, and I'm sharing.